what is the most popular models for Audi in Vietnam's market and why?
The most popular, actually, it was always a SUV.
Is that for family?
It's SUV. It's basically four-wheel drive with a high ground clearance, and it's easy to use no matter what weather or flooding or whatever. You can go anywhere. So basically, Q7 for historical reason has been a strong sell for us. But lately, the Q5 is actually taking a big momentum. And recently, we see as well the A6 developing actually quite well, but it's more a sedan. But it's taking quite a bit of success at the moment, yes.
I mean, Audi is already a huge brand, but I mean, how do you continue to connect to your customer? Because a lot of changing in the world of marketing and advertising. What are some of the new trends in getting connected to the customers nowadays?
So what we try to do, because it's a niche as well, we're we're a big player in a small market, okay? But as such, we have some responsibility with our customers and with our brand. And with our shareholders as well. And so in the end, what we try to do is to do things which make sense. And what makes sense for people is, for instance, to see that the brand is really different. So what we tend to do is connect with the customers on useful occasions, making unusual events with a totally different angle. We've been supporting some people for some surgery because, so that's another problem. So we try to be a good citizen, but to do it in a way which is strange, making people realize that, wow, I didn't expect it this way. So that's the way they react with the products, with the model. I mean, that's the way they react with the brand. The other thing we do to connect with the people is we try to be providing things which make sense to them. So we are the only premium brand, luxury brand in Vietnam, offering 3-year warranty.
Oh, really?
And with no limit on mileage for the first 3 years. So basically, that's the only luxury brand offering that. So we try to bring value. People usually see the value. What we try to do is to turn our customers into fans. That's what we try to do.
And looking back at 5 years with so many achievements, but what are some of the things that need to be improved?
Well, what needs to be improved is we are in Vietnam, which is a very dynamic country when it comes to the car business. The regulations tend to change on a regular basis, which makes predictability quite difficult. So it's affecting mostly the industry, especially people who are assembling locally because they make a large industrial investment, but it's also affecting us because, of course, we invest in some models, and if then the tax change, it may just impact everything. So that part, if it was a bit more stable and with a bit more visibility, would make things easier. I think that part would be making things much better for everybody.
Yeah, you just mentioned tariff in 2018 under regional treaty. I mean, the import tax from car made from ASEAN countries going to be lowered to 0%. I mean, how would that affect the strategy of a luxury car business here?
Well, in our case, basically, to make, I think it's going to impact a lot mainstream brands. The brand for, let's say, day-to-day customers. When you talk about luxury brands, to make a luxury car, the investment is quite different. You really need a volume to justify. And to benefit from this lower tax, you need as well to have to reach a certain level of components which you bought from ASEAN. So usually for premium, it's not so easy to buy locally components to assemble in the car. So it's quite unlikely, I think, that we are going to be impacted. It's going to be an impact for mainstream brands. Then in the case of Vietnam, yes, I think there's another issue, which is the local CKD industry has between now and 2018 to see how they organize themselves to be competitive. I think they have a big opportunity to be able to export from Vietnam, assuming the government opens up the framework for them to be able to find it possible and attractive to assemble for exportation. At the moment, it's not so easy. We have the same issue to import to export. We are working on it. It's not there easy to start like this. It's a slow step-by-step process to get there. The good thing about Vietnam is that it's possible. In Europe, things are easy to get, but if it's not possible, it's not possible.
Okay.
In Vietnam, it can be possible. So that's where that's the beauty of Vietnam as well.
Okay. So each car market in Asia, of course, is defined by the local cultural factors. I mean, how do Vietnamese consumers define the brand of Audi? What do you think of Audi when they think about like buying a new car? But what comes to their mind when they think about Audi? What kind of features and characteristics?
I think for them the main immediate one, which really is clear and impressive to everybody, is the LED lights. Because we were the first company, actually brand, bringing to Vietnam cars with all of them with the LED headlights, and on all the models. So that was really appreciated. Most people were surprised because we are the first one doing that. Today you can see quite a number of other brands have been following that trend. Another thing which comes to mind is we were the first actually luxury brand to launch a white color car, which was a bit strange at the time. Now if you look around, you see that there are quite a number of luxury cars which are white. So what I was trying to tell you is that we are progressive. We try to do things in a different way. That's a typical example. So people, when they talk about Audi, that's what they think about, doing those things in a way which is new, unexpected, maybe providing answers on questions which actually nobody is wondering about at the moment. So at the moment we are thinking, I mean, Audi AG in Germany is spending a lot of money on urban mobility, how you are going to be mobile in the city of the future, in the mega city. It looks like a bit of a strange luxury kind of question today, but you will see that it's going to accelerate, and very soon it's going to be obvious that, we need a solution for this. So Audi as a brand, that's what comes to mind. People think, wow, that brand is, yes, it's luxury, yes, it's sporty, but it's with this additional special things which makes it like visionary and not only looking but implementing as well. So a typical example which people really have in mind when you talk about Audi to any one of them, especially in Vietnam, is Quattro. So Quattro is the four-wheel drive, permanent all-wheel drive, and in the case of Audi worldwide, it used to be 20% of the sales. Last year it was 40% of the sales, so it was a big jump worldwide. In Vietnam, it's over 80% of our sales.
Oh, wow.
So Vietnam, as we said recently for our 5 years anniversary, is the land of Quattro, and that's exactly what it is. And for people in Vietnam, Audi is quite similar with Quattro in terms of image.
What features of a car, I mean, when coming to buy a luxury car, what features of a car that influence the most the customer when they make any decisions of the car? What feature?
Well, it used to be at one stage the size of the car. That was a few years ago. For some people it still is the case. Actually, it depends whether they're men or women. Women would rather look at the interior, the quality, the leather, I mean the amenities in the car. The men would rather look at the engine and the power and the fuel consumption, and we are quite happy that we are quite well positioned on all these elements. So then if they make a compromise on this or that, and they basically, no matter which one they like, usually we are best in class on those components. So in the end, it's up to them, whatever they think is appropriate to make the final decision. But overall, usually we are well placed on all of them. But basically, today it's the brand is people like, because it's a brand people know and like. Then the design of the car, and whether the color, the interior is in line with what they feel comfortable with. One thing about Audi is when you drive, the more you enjoy driving, and the more you get really addicted to that feeling.
Yeah.
And when it comes to feeling and a nice driving feeling, we are, I mean, that's one of the strengths of the brand. So then, I mean, we are very strong, especially when people drive themselves.
Okay.
So in the case of chauffeur-driven, we are not too bad as well, and it's okay, and people like it too. And the minute they put themselves on the steering wheel, then they really enjoy it even further. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, then you can enjoy the noise of the engine, you can enjoy the special color. The good thing about importing cars like we do is that compared to the local cars which are assembled in Vietnam, you get at least 3 times more colors possible.
Okay.
So it makes a kind of a bigger choice.